Friends, let's gather in this moment, in this shared space of curiosity and courage, to talk about something that burns at the heart of what it means to be human: purpose. Not the kind of purpose that's neatly packaged in a self-help book or a motivational poster, but the raw, messy, soul-shaking kind that can turn your life upside down and set it ablaze with meaning. Purpose isn't just a buzzword. It's a reckoning. It's the quiet whisper in the middle of the night that asks, "Why are you here?" It's the bold, unapologetic answer that says, "I'm here to make a difference, to love fiercely, to create, to heal, to stand for something bigger than myself." Purpose, when you let it in, doesn't just change your life, it rewrites it forever. Yeah. Let's start by peeling back the layers of what purpose really is. It's not a destination you arrive at like a shiny trophy you can display on a shelf. It's not a job title, a bank account balance, or a checklist of accomplishments. Purpose is a way of being. It's the thread that weaves through your choices, your relationships, your triumphs, and even your failures. It's the reason you get up in the morning, even when the world feels heavy and your heart is bruised. Purpose is what anchors you when life's storms come raging in, threatening to pull you under. It's the lighthouse that guides you back to yourself. But here's the truth: we don't always talk about. Finding purpose is hard. It's not like you wake up one day with a divine PowerPoint presentation outlining your life's mission. Purpose demands that you show up for yourself in ways you've never had to before. It asks you to dig deep, to sit with the discomfort of not knowing, to face the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. It's vulnerable work. It's standing in front of the mirror of your own soul and asking, what am I willing to fight for? What breaks my heart open? What am I willing to risk everything for? And those questions, they're not for the faint of heart. Purpose requires courage because it often calls you to step into the unknown. It's not about staying safe or comfortable. It's about daring to live in alignment with what matters most to you, even when the path is unclear. Think about the moments in your life when you felt most alive. Maybe it was holding someone's hand through their darkest hour, or creating something that poured out of your soul, or standing up for something you believed in, even when your voice shook. Those moments weren't accidents. They were glimpses of your purpose peeking through, whispering, "This is who you are. This is what you're made for." Let's pause here and acknowledge something real. The world doesn't always make it easy to live with purpose. We're bombarded with noise: social media, expectations, comparison, the relentless pressure to hustle, to achieve, to be more. It's easy to get lost in that chaos, to let the world's definition of success drown out the quiet call of your own heart. We chase after things we're told will make us happy: money, status, approval, only to find ourselves empty, wondering why we still feel like something's missing. Purpose is the antidote to that emptiness. It's the compass that helps you navigate through the noise and back to what's true. So, how do you find it? How do you uncover this thing that's supposed to change your life forever? It starts with curiosity, not the kind that demands answers right away, but the kind that's willing to wander, to explore, to get a little lost. Purpose isn't something you discover in a single epiphany. It's something you uncover layer by layer through the act of living. Start by asking yourself what lights you up, what makes you lose track of time, what makes you feel like you're contributing to something bigger than yourself. Those are the breadcrumbs that lead you to purpose. But purpose isn't just about what feels good. It's also about what challenges you. It's about the things that scare you, the things that make your heart race and your palms sweat. Purpose often lives at the intersection of your deepest passions and your greatest fears. It's in the moments when you're stretched beyond what you thought you were capable of, when you're called to show up in ways that feel bigger than you. That's where the magic happens. That's where you start to see the contours of a life that's truly yours. Let's talk about the stories we tell ourselves, because those stories shape how we approach purpose. So many of us carry narratives that hold us back. Stories of not being enough, of being too much, of not deserving a life that feels meaningful. Those stories are heavy. They keep us small, tethered to a version of ourselves that's safe but unfulfilled. Purpose asks you to rewrite those stories. It invites you to step into a narrative where you are enough, where your gifts matter, where your presence in the world is needed. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real. One of the most beautiful things about purpose is that it's not a solo journey. Yes, it starts with you, with your heart, your questions, your courage. But purpose comes alive in connection. It's in the way you show up for others, the way you listen, the way you love, the way you build something together. Think about the people who've changed your life, not because they had all the answers, but because they showed up with their. That's purpose in action. It's the ripple effect of living in alignment with what matters most. Purpose also has a way of reshaping how you see failure. When you're living with purpose, failure isn't the end of the story, it's part of it. Every misstep, every setback, every moment when things don't go as planned is a chance to learn, to grow, to refine your path. Purpose gives you the resilience to keep going because it's not about getting it right, it's about staying true. It's about trusting that even the detours are part of the journey, that they're leading you somewhere you're meant to go. Let's get honest about something else. Purpose can be exhausting. It's not all mountaintop moments and warm fuzzies. Living with purpose means showing up day after day, even when you're tired, even when you're unsure, even when the world feels like it's working against you. It's gritty work. It's the kind of work that asks you to keep going when you'd rather give up. But here's the thing, that grit, that perseverance, that willingness to keep showing up, it's what makes purpose so transformative. It's what carves out a life that feels deeply, undeniably yours. Purpose also changes how you measure success. The world loves to hand us metrics, numbers, accolades, likes, followers. But purpose rewrites the scorecard. Success becomes about the moments when you feel aligned, when you know you've made a difference, when you've honored what matters most to you. It's not about how much you've achieved. It's about how much you've lived. It's about the courage to keep choosing your truth, even when it's hard, even when it's messy, even when no one else understands. Let's talk about joy, because purpose and joy are intertwined in ways we don't always recognize. When you're living with purpose, you start to notice the small, sacred moments that light up your days. The way the sunlight hits the leaves, the sound of someone's laughter, the feeling of being fully present. Purpose doesn't just give you a reason to live. It gives you a reason to savor life. It's the difference between going through the motions and truly being awake to the world around you. But purpose isn't static. It evolves as you do. What felt like your purpose at 20 might not be your purpose at 40 or 60, and that's okay. Purpose is a living, breathing thing that grows with you. It's not about locking yourself into one path forever. It's about staying open to where life is calling you next. It's about trusting that your purpose will shift and expand as you move through different seasons of your life. One of the greatest gifts of purpose is that it helps you make sense of the hard stuff. Life is messy. It's full of loss, heartbreak, and moments that knock the wind out of you. Purpose doesn't make those moments disappear, but it gives them meaning. It helps you see how even the darkest chapters are part of a larger story, a story that's still being written. Purpose is the thread that connects the highs and the lows, the triumphs and the struggles into something whole. Let's talk about the courage it takes to claim your purpose. Because here's the thing, the world doesn't always cheer you on when you decide to live with intention. Sometimes it pushes back. Sometimes it tells you to stay small, to play it safe, to stick with what's familiar. Purpose asks you to stand up to that resistance. It asks you to say, this is who I am. this is what I'm here for. And that kind of courage, it's not just about you. It's about the people you inspire, the lives you touch, the legacy you leave behind. Purpose also has a way of making you feel more connected to the world. When you're living with purpose, you start to see how your actions ripple out, how they intersect with the lives of others. You start to feel like you're part of something bigger, a web of humanity, a shared story. Purpose reminds you that you're not alone, that your life matters, that your choices have the power to shape the world in ways you may never fully understand. Let's not shy away from the practical side of this. Living with purpose doesn't mean you quit your job tomorrow and move to a mountaintop to meditate. It's about bringing purpose into the life you're already living. It's about finding ways to infuse meaning into your everyday choices, how you show up at work, how you treat the people around you, how you spend your time. Purpose doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes it's in the small, quiet acts of courage and love that you weave into your days. Purpose also asks you to let go of what no longer serves you. That might mean letting go of relationships that drain you, habits that keep you stuck, or beliefs that hold you back. It's not always easy to release those things, but purpose gives you the clarity to see what's worth holding on to and what's weighing you down. It's like pruning a tree, cutting away the dead branches so the whole thing can thrive. Let's talk about the fear that comes with purpose, because it's real. When you start to live with intention, you might worry that you're not doing it right, that you're not making enough of an impact, that you're falling short. That fear is part of the deal. It's a sign that you care, that you're invested, that you're human. Purpose doesn't mean you're fearless. It means you're willing to move forward even when you're afraid. It's about trusting that the journey is worth it, even when you can't see the destination. Purpose also has a way of reshaping your relationship with time. When you're living with purpose, you start to see time as a gift, not a burden. You become more intentional about how you spend it, more aware of the moments that matter. Purpose helps you prioritize what's truly important, so you're not just filling your days, but truly living them. It's the difference between being busy and being fulfilled. And let's not forget about the body, because purpose isn't just a head space or a heart space, it's a physical thing too. When you're aligned with your purpose, you might notice your body responding. Your shoulders relax, your breath deepens, your energy shifts. But when you're out of alignment, your body often tells you first. It's the tightness in your chest, the exhaustion that won't quit, the restlessness that keeps you up at night. Purpose asks you to listen to your body, to honor it as a partner in this journey. Purpose also changes how you see your past, those moments you've carried as regrets or mistakes. Purpose helps you reframe them as part of your story, as lessons that shaped who you are. It doesn't erase the pain, but it gives it context. It helps you see how every step, even the missteps, has been leading you toward a life that's more authentic, more meaningful. Let's talk about the people who inspire us to live with purpose. They're not always the ones with the loudest voices or the biggest platforms. Sometimes they're the quiet heroes, the teacher who saw something in you, the friend who listened without judgment, the stranger who showed you kindness when you needed it most. Those people remind us what purpose looks like in action. They show us that purpose isn't about being extraordinary. It's about being fully, unapologetically yourself. Purpose also has a way of making you more compassionate. When you're living with purpose, you start to see the humanity in others more clearly. You recognize that everyone is on their own journey, wrestling with their own questions, searching for their own meaning. Purpose softens your edges, opens your heart, makes you more willing to listen, to understand, to show up for others in a real way. Let's not shy away from the spiritual side of this because purpose often feels like a conversation with something bigger than yourself, whether you call it the universe, God, or simply the mystery of life. Purpose connects you to a sense of awe, of wonder, of being part of something vast and beautiful. It's not about having all the answers, it's about being willing to ask the questions, to lean into the mystery, to trust that you're held in something larger. Purpose also asks you to be honest about your limits. You can do everything, and you don't have to. Purpose isn't about saving the world single-handedly. It's about doing your part in your way with the gifts you have. It's about trusting that your contribution, no matter how small it seems, is enough. It's about showing up fully in the spaces where you're called to be. Let's talk about the legacy of purpose, because living with purpose isn't just about you. It's about the mark you leave on the world. It's about the stories people will tell about you, the ways you've touched their lives, the difference you've made. Purpose gives you the chance to create a legacy that's not about fame or fortune, but about love, courage, and meaning. It's about knowing that your life mattered, that you left the world a little better than you found it. Purpose also has a way of making you more present. When you're living with intention, you're not just thinking about the past or worrying about the future. You're fully here in this moment, in this breath. Purpose grounds you in the now, helps you see the beauty in the ordinary, the sacred in the everyday. It's a reminder that this moment right here is where your life is happening. Let's not ignore the tension that comes with purpose, because it's not always a straight line. Sometimes purpose pulls you in different directions, toward your dreams, but also toward your responsibilities, your relationships, your reality. Navigating that tension is part of the work. It's about finding balance, making choices, trusting that purpose isn't about perfection, but about progress. Purpose also changes how you see success. It's not about climbing a ladder or checking boxes. It's about living a life that feels true. Success becomes about the moments when you feel aligned, when you know you've honored what matters most. It's not about how much you've achieved, but how much you've lived, how much you've loved, how much you've dared to show up as yourself. Let's talk about the courage it takes to keep choosing purpose, because it's not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice, a constant recommitment to what matters. Some days it's easy. You feel inspired, aligned, alive. Other days it's hard. You're tired. You're doubting. You're wondering if it's worth it. Purpose asks you to keep showing up, even on the hard days. It's about trusting that the work is worth it, that your life is worth it. Purpose also has a way of making you more grateful. When you're living with intention, you start to notice the gifts in your life, the people, the moments, the opportunities. You start to see how much you have to be thankful for, even in the midst of struggle. Purpose shifts your perspective, helps you focus on what's abundant rather than what's lacking. And let's not forget about the joy of purpose, because it's not all grit and courage. It's also lightness, play, creativity. Purpose is what makes you dance in the kitchen, laugh until your sides hurt, create something just because it feels good. It's the spark that makes life feel like an adventure, not a chore. Purpose reminds you that you're not just here to survive. Purpose also asks you to be patient. It's not about instant results or quick fixes. It's about trusting the process, staying open to the journey, believing that the pieces will come together in time. Purpose is a long game, one that unfolds over years, decades, a lifetime. It's about planting seeds even when you won't see the harvest. Let's talk about the power of small acts, because purpose doesn't always mean big, dramatic changes. Sometimes it's in the quiet moments, listening to a friend, helping a stranger, showing up for your community, Those small acts ripple out, creating waves of change you may never see. Purpose reminds you that every choice matters, that every moment is a chance to live with intention. Purpose also has a way of making you more resilient. When you're anchored in something bigger than yourself, you're better equipped to weather life's storms. Purpose doesn't make the challenges disappear, but it gives you a reason to keep going, a light to guide you through the dark. It's the difference between surviving and thriving, between giving up and rising up. Let's not shy away from the vulnerability of purpose because it's not always strong and certain. Sometimes purpose feels fragile, like a flame that could flicker out. It asks you to hold it gently, to protect it, to keep it alive even when the winds of doubt and fear blow through. Purpose is a tender thing, but it's also fierce. It's the fire that keeps burning no matter what. Purpose also changes how you see your place in the world. It helps you see that you're not just a bystander. You're a participant, a co-creator, a vital part of the story. Purpose empowers you to take up space, to use your voice, to make a difference. It's a reminder that your life is not just about you, it's about the world you're helping to shape. Let's talk about the freedom that comes with purpose, because when you're living in alignment with what matters most, you're no longer bound by the expectations of others. You're free to be yourself, to follow your path, to create a life that feels true. Purpose is the key that unlocks the cage of shoulds and musts, letting you step into the wild, beautiful expanse of who you are. Purpose also has a way of making you more curious. When you're living with intention, you start to ask bigger questions, seek deeper truths, explore new possibilities. Purpose fuels your hunger to learn, to grow, to understand the world and your place in it. It's the spark that keeps you engaged, alive, awake. Let's not forget about the healing power of purpose. Because when you're connected to something bigger than yourself, you start to mend the broken places inside you. Purpose doesn't erase the pain, but it gives it a container, a reason, a way to transform it into something meaningful. It's the alchemy that turns wounds into wisdom, hurt into hope. Purpose also asks you to be brave enough to change. It's not about staying the same. It's about evolving, stretching, becoming more of who you're meant to be. Purpose pushes you to grow, to step into new versions of yourself, to embrace the unknown. It's the courage to let go of who you were so you can become who you're meant to be. Let's talk about the connection between purpose and love. Because at its core, purpose is about love for yourself, for others, for the world. Purpose is what drives you to show up, to care, to give your heart to the people and causes that matter. It's the fuel that keeps you going, the light that keeps you shining, the love that keeps you whole. Purpose also has a way of making every day feel sacred. When you're living with intention, even the ordinary moments, making coffee, walking the dog, talking to a friend, become infused with meaning. Purpose helps you see the beauty in the mundane, the magic in the everyday. It's a reminder that your life is a gift and every moment is a chance to live it fully. Let's end where we began, with the truth that purpose can change your life forever. It's not a quick fix or a magic bullet. It's a journey, a practice, a way of being. Purpose is the courage to show up as your whole, messy, beautiful self. It's the willingness to keep asking the hard questions, to keep choosing what matters, to keep believing in the power of your own life. Purpose is the fire that burns within you, the light that guides you, the love that sustains you. And when you let it in, when you let it lead you, it will change everything. So, my friends, dare to live with purpose. Dare to let it rewrite your story. Dare to let it change your life forever. How can Grok help?